Let's see how this goes. Ooh. What is this gonna? Okay. Gotta keep the phone charged. Oh. God. Today is just a wreck. Or you know what? That might be a lot better. There we go. I feel like I'm cheating on TikTok. What is it? Oh, let's not do that. Oh. No, okay. Let's stop messing with stuff. I don't know how we're gonna do this because my original plan.
My name is Sophie Weber. I go to Beale City High School with Owen and Macy and Lauren.
Honestly, I don't know if these are even.
Area to do besides walk around the small town. No one really has anything better to do than talk about other people. Like even the parents, like they talk about what like us teenagers are doing, and I feel like that's kind of a toxic thing that just gets passed down. A lot of people spend up to 13 hours on their phone a day, which I think is a little bit like excessive. I really like going on my phone. I love going on TikTok and Snapchat. I love texting my friends. It's kind of the only way that people communicate now, like is with their phones.
I was 13 years old when I got my first phone. Everyone else had a phone, you know. I wanted to fit in. I was into that age where like social media was really becoming popular, and I just wanted to be cool, you know.
Your phone can be a good thing, obviously, to like communicate with your friends, but it could definitely be a way that something dangerous could happen.
It's crazy how having a phone can become the worst thing that happened to me.
You are the ugliest person I've ever seen. A high school girl in Michigan was cyberbullied for more than a year.
And who turned out to be the suspect shocked everyone.
There were details in some of the texts that made it seem as though somebody was stalking them.
You had to be careful of every single word that you said, or else you could look guilty.
These texts were coming in at a clip of 40, 50 a day.
When they involved the state police and then eventually the FBI, you can just see how fast this escalates.
Have you ever sent anything to either one of them like this?
This is felony stalking.
I have to make sure you are safe before I leave.
And the more friends you have, the easier it is to be betrayed by them. Like, it's crazy how something like that could happen at Beale. Things are about to get so much worse.
Unknown number. I can't show it. I was trying to do like 2 camera setups, but we're just gonna have to go with the flow right now.
There was a girl in my class that threw a Halloween party every year, and all of our classmates would go, and all of our parents would go.
We were about a year into our relationship, me and Lauren, and she was not invited, but like I like basically invited her.
Oh.
If I'm going, you're gonna come with me.
I didn't want to go to the Halloween party.
She wasn't a fan of the girls in her grade. She just wanted it to be me and her, no one else.
I'm from Louisiana in the U.S.
About 2 weeks before the Halloween party, got a text from an unknown number in a group chat.
Hi, Lauren. Ellen is breaking up with you. He no longer likes you and hasn't liked you for a while. It's obvious he wants me. He laughs, smiles, touches my hair. Not sure what he told you, But he is coming to the Halloween party, and we are both down to fuck. You are a sweet girl, but I know I can give him what he wants. Sorry, not sorry.
I was just really confused of who this could be. Maybe one of her friends just trying
I
to
am
mess with
watching
me on.
Unknown Number.
I asked Chloe because we were like best friends, and it was her party. You know, I'm like,
So
you
no
know, who sent
spoilers.
this? Or like, did you send it? You know,
And
just
thank you for
asking
subscribing.
around. I was like, okay, it's just gonna stop. Just give it some time.
After the Halloween party, the messages had kind of stopped and things seemed to get better.
I was trying to do
Everything's
2
normal, you know, at
cameras,
school. Like Evelyn's friends, you know, like there was like no.
but
beef
I can only
between
be on
anyone
my phone right now.
that would have started these messages.
But watching Unknown
I was
Number.
actually excited about the new school year. But then after almost a year, the messages came back.
How's the happy couple? Preparing for the end of the golden relationship? We hear about how you are the forever couple. Owen loves me, and I will always be the girl he loves. He will be with me while your lonely, ugly ass is alone.
It seemed like the text messages were trying to break me and Owen up. I knew it wasn't somebody I knew because I would have had their phone number saved in my phone.
There was no reason for it, you know. Like the first text was for the Halloween party. Like this just happened. And
What I don't get is she says, I know it's not somebody I know because I would have had their number saved, but there's apps that will cover, like my friends used to prank me all the time with unknown numbers. You just go through an app and it changes up the thing. I know who it is. I just want to see how the story unfolds, so don't spoil it to me. I know who it is, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody watching. Or, yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I know who it is. I just want to see how it unfolds because it's been on TikTok all over, so I just wanted to watch it for myself. But just be like,
then we got more.
I wanted them to answer the phone so we could maybe figure out who it was. But they would just text us right after we called them. They would never answer the phone.
Well, no, stop fucking calling. You answer it.
In one
Hello
of the
from
texts,
India.
The unknown sender called me by my nickname, Lo. So it really made me think it had to be someone who had been around me or one of my close friends before. I was getting at least 6 text messages plus a day. It was just really annoying because I knew Owen wasn't involved with it and I knew he didn't know what was going on either before all of this. Dating Owen,
I'm
I
good
was
just watching.
having a good life. I love life. I first met Owen in 7th grade when I was 12 years old. I thought he was cute.
Lauren was shy, but you know, she was sweet, she was caring. We always just were talking, and then one day eventually I asked her out. It was very like nerve-wracking. And so I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I was super red.
Lauren started talking to a boy named Owen, and I'm like, you're talking to a boy? Aren't you a little young for that? You know, dad talk, you know?
They liked a lot of the same stuff, you know, a lot of the sports. They went trick-or-treating together. Little things like that.
So what was your first date? Why did you go out?
Mom, do you know?
I
Come
remember
out and give
Owen
some of
just
this.
coming home and telling me there was this cute blonde in his class.
I'm not answering any
Interest in
personal
that, particularly in
questions.
the athletics. Owen is very athletic and involved in sports, and so is Lauren, and so I thought they were a really nice fit.
And we all just started hanging out in this group, started doing things.
My whole family liked her. You know, we just clicked.
Kendra and Owen's mom, Jill, became really good friends.
We would invite each other over, we'd have bonfires and just hang out and spend time together while the kids were off playing.
It'll set on fire.
Lauren and Owen, they were always smiling and giggling together.
They were just like a high school couple in a movie. They
like a
freshman
filter
year,
effect?
they were referred to as the golden couple. I do think that there was some jealousy.
I think it has some kind of
in their
filter because it's
class,
just all
maybe
kinds of
wanting a relationship, or
weird lighting.
wanting boys to notice the girls, and they both have that. I'm sure there was some of that.
Peel City School is preschool through 12th grade, all in one building. The people in my high school I've grown up with since kindergarten, basically.
There are only 30 kids in class. We all have group chats. We're all friends. No one really truly hates each other.
You are the ugliest person I've ever seen.
We had this class together, which was science, and we would sit together. And one day, Owen told us what was going on. At first, it was just oh, I'm getting these weird messages. I don't know who they're from. But as they would come in more, he would start to tell us actually what they were saying and how they were saying things from the conversations
Mustache.
we were having in class. I never really suspected that it was the boys in our grade, just because the boys in our grade aren't super involved with people. They don't really care about drama.
Boys don't really have drama. We just play sports and have fun, that's all.
Usually there's a lot of mean girls.
I just want to try to narrow it down to a certain amount of people.
We would just FaceTime each other at night and just talk about it and be okay, what came up in the text today? Who was around? We're making a list of what group it could be or who specifically it could be.
I feel at Beale, there's certain groups. The more popular one. Then there was a cheer group that they were just cheerleaders. And there was just another group of girls that my cousin Adriana was in who didn't have much drama. And I thought it could have been the quieter ones because they could have been more techy.
I was is it someone that even goes to Beale? Is it someone inside the school?
If it's a student, when I get at a certain time, there's only so many people it can be. And if I got a text message during the middle of the school day, I would look around and see if anyone was on their phone.
You know what I was doing in class, I feel
Fucking trash, bitch. Don't fucking wear leggings. And no one will see your anorexic flat ass.
I would question when I wear to school.
Not if you, or there's no such thing as unhealthy food, just unhealthy portions. And I weigh out my food. Let me keep going.
How I look, how's my hair, definitely affected.
I just don't want to talk over this.
You are worthless and mean nothing. You never have.
I'm only on here just to kind of
Owen will never look at you again
interact a little bit, and I guess y'all can listen.
His family fucking hates you for it, and he will never in his life acknowledge you again. Get the fuck lost, bitch. He's fucking done with you.
Lauren came home from school one day and she just had this look on her face and attitude, and I'm what's going on? She's no, I just got this dumb text at
that
school.
big old thing of cheese, that's unhealthy.
Super frustrated with it, but my mom was just ignore them. Obviously you're beautiful. She was just encouraging me to not read them.
I told her just to keep being her and just not even worry about anything, right? I didn't believe anybody would do anything harmful.
And then
This is as close as I can get this camera. If not,
Owen and I down to suck finger fuck.
ew.
It was so bad to the point where I didn't want to even go to school anymore. I didn't really know who to trust. And then I said, okay, that's it.
That's a bit. I just hate these lights back here.
Fingers, my pussy mouth.
They're 13. If this is a 9th grade girl or boy, these are pretty intense. We started, unfortunately, having to take Owen's phone every night.
I tried to fight him on it. I haven't had my phone for a year. I wanted privacy.
We would have to sit and read all the messages, start to end.
Or
There were
let me
times
just
that
turn
these
those
text messages were coming in at
lights
a
off.
clip of 30, 40, 50 a day, and that just it seemed very, very excessive.
Sean and Kendra and Dave and I decided, okay, the 4 of us need to go to the school and sit down it really showed how terrible this has gotten.
We were hoping for some type of action, right? Because some of the messages were happening during school hours.
The school is responsible for them when they're on school property.
So we really thought the school would, kind of let's see what we can do. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't think the school handled things very well.
I thought we were going to be doing a typical cyberbullying type of investigation, which we handle a lot of, unfortunately, in schools today. Obviously, this situation turned out much different than most.
When they showed me some of the text messages, I was astounded by how vitriolic they were. I've never seen this kind of volume in my career.
You dressed like a fucking slut. You try and get attention? Fuck off. My fucking tits in his face. Fucking make him horny. Make it cream.
What in the world? They were vulgar and nasty enough in nature to make a 53-year-old man blush. The evidence was extraordinary. The egregiousness of these texts, and we knew this was a serious matter.
Okay, is to keep the mirror behind your back a threat?
Last hour, I think it was. And we walked in there and I was like, oh no, this is not about to happen. I'm so scared.
We didn't know exactly what was going on, so we called Lauren in because we didn't know if she could be sending them to herself for attention, or we had no clue.
So we would try to say things loud next to certain people to see if it would get brought up into the text messages. And the only time it got brought into the text was when we would say it around Lauren, which was definitely a red flag. Lauren would never really directly talk to me about things. Lauren was always just to herself, never showed any emotion, and only talked about sports and just stuff that didn't really mean a lot to her.
Anybody want to know what I would do if I didn't win? I guess we'll never know.
She had friends, but not a ton, and she was always kind of a quiet person. So I thought that Lauren could have been sending the text messages to herself. To try to honestly get closer with Owen, and it kind of seemed like she wanted attention, and this would be a way that she could get it.
We talked to Owen and Lauren, but we did feel that we ruled them out pretty quickly by their responses, genuine responses.
It kind of became a little hot topic of the school.
There's 700 kids that go to Beale City. Really, at this point,
I guess I'm doing good
this could be
multitasking,
anybody.
sitting and watching.
I
just wish I could have both cameras.
Truthful with me and asked them about the situation.
We asked every question imaginable to these kids.
They knew little to nothing about it. So I began with some video surveillance, marking when the text would come in, and then looking at video to see if we could
Although in a
see
second I'm
someone
gonna have
in the
to
hallway
do the roast.
sending a text at that particular time.
Mr. Boyer wanted me to text him when I got a text message, so then he could see who was on their phone.
So that I would know.
How long is this?
Here's a timestamp, and we could begin checking cameras and looking to see if we see
Hour and
someone
18
who excused
minutes.
himself from class.
They did all this and they still couldn't come up with it, they kept getting these text messages.
Because it's hard to say if they're sending a Snapchat or harassing
No,
text.
I'm
or just looking at
watching
video.
Unknown Number.
Kendra and I started comparing notes. We were at the school almost every day with a practice or some sort of event. So it would just be like, hey, did Lauren get any messages today?
And I'm
This is
never
what
alone.
Lauren got.
Jill and I spoke about it when we were together. We could talk about just about anything, share things, kind of really feel like a support there.
We would sit down and have conversations with Mr. Boyer about the messages.
But I'm watching
Some of the
Unknown
first
Number,
techniques
the
we talked
documentary.
about is to simply block the caller. In this case, that wasn't possible because they were using a random number generator application for their phone.
We did try blocking the number, but then it would come from another number.
We gave further advice to change the students' numbers.
We did contemplate that for a while, but we knew that it was someone that we were close with. I mean, the information that they knew where they were at all the time.
Hello.
We were afraid of never finding out and allowing this person into our home. You know, if it's one of their friends, are we inviting them over? Are we opening the doors to somebody who did so much damage? So we were not willing to give up that hope of finding out.
I'm good watching Unknown
I
Number.
can't tell you the countless times just standing in the principal's office in tears going, can we please enforce a cell phone policy? Why does my kid have access to look at this when he should be learning?
I'm kind of all over the board with kids having phones at school because our cell phones, I mean, I use mine as a personal office. I work a lot from my phone. You know, I know that they can be used in a classroom as an educational tool.
Yeah. But just kind of chilling before I gotta make dinner.
Owen doesn't like you. He doesn't love you. He wants sex, BJ's, and making out. He don't want your sorry ass.
So me and Lauren were fine.
I know
with
who
text
sent the
but then they
messages.
started to make
I don't want to spoil it for
question
anybody.
herself and our relationship.
We stayed in a hotel with him Thursday, and your sorry ass won't be there.
And then the texter was saying that we hung
This
out.
is awful.
So then I was like,
No,
yeah,
like the
I don't
movie's
know if I
good.
can trust Ellen anymore.
It's just the message that I
Me and
know
Lauren
who
got
sent
into our
them is
fights.
just like
She would
awful.
accuse me
Like
of
I
things
just
that aren't true at all because she would listen to the text messages.
We were just getting mad at each other about it when we shouldn't have been mad at each other.
well yeah.
The one thing that the texter wanted was for me and Lauren to break up. Me and Lauren, we FaceTime and I told her that it just got too much and that maybe if we give them what they want, they stop. Maybe one day we can try again.
That's so stupid. This is why 12-year-olds shouldn't be together. So this is Unknown Number, the high school catfish on Netflix. And so far it's good. I'm 19 minutes in and I'm just like rolling my eyes. Like obviously they're 12-year-olds. They really shouldn't be together. And this is, I forgot what that one movie was where it's like Bully or something and it has Emily Osment in it. And it's kind of giving that vibe. And they're just so stupid. Like she's like, I know this person can't be someone that I know because it's a what is it? It's an unknown number, and I have and I'm like, girl, there's so many apps that you can cover your own number. Yeah, that's like if y'all want to listen while I'm watching it, that's cool. But like so far, it's like, and I know who did it because somebody like spoiled it on TikTok for me. I just want to see how it unfolds, and people said like the text messages were really disgusting, and if it's the person that's like if it's who I think it is or who whatever person said on TikTok said it was, like this is crazy.
She was very heartbroken. She was super hurt.
But also like, why would you break up with somebody because of a stalker? Like, if anything, if you break up with somebody, the stalker is going to feel more like now they can have that person. Like they're getting what they want. And they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep going and then keep using that guy. Like, and if you're, this is so stupid.
He was my first love.
Or they're so stupid of how they handled it as
We've
teenagers.
been together for over 2 years, and we just kind of stopped talking to each other.
I talked to Lauren, just reminding her, you know who Owen is, and as a person, even if he didn't like you, he's not going to say these things. And unfortunately, it became a strain in their relationship.
The messages had just gotten to be too much, and I think that's really what the last several months of their relationship revolved around was, did you talk to this girl? Were you, with this person? Because it's a lot of lies.
Now I'm
I feel
confused.
Like in the messages, all they want us to do was break up. But then when we broke up, it seemed like the messages got worse.
Well,
The
duh.
fact that they're still going after the one thing they wanted, that was really heartbreaking.
Kill yourself now, bitch.
Wow.
His life would be better if you were dead.
When I first read that, I was like totally in shock. Made me definitely feel sad. I was in a bad mental state. This is getting bad.
There's some sick messages. Lauren needs to go kill herself. She shouldn't be alive. She shouldn't be at this school anymore. My blood pressure is skyrocketing.
When I think about a student who's been subjected to this kind of harassment for this period of time, I'm worried about their mental health. The incredible toll that must take on the emotional well-being.
What's crazy is this girl kind of looks like Gabby Petito. Like, strong resemblance. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Unknown Number, The High School Catfish, and it's not in separate episodes, it's like one movie.
You know, a young person.
It could definitely mess with someone's mind.
What happens one day if this kid has enough of this and they're not getting the satisfaction or the reaction that they're wanting from the messages anymore? One day somebody's going to snap.
Yes, and we gotta nail this son of a bitch.
Warning, you finish yourself before we do.
When the physical harm started coming out in the messages, we were afraid as parents that something could happen to our children. It was a breaking point. That was also about the time that Officer Ming got involved.
I was contacted by the school district in regards to some cyberbullying and harassment. We met at the Beale City High School. Both sets of parents were there.
Okay, I'm so confused because the person that did it is in this documentary and they're acting like they didn't do it. I'm so... Okay. Like, I know the boyfriend's mom is talking the most, and then her mom is not talking a lot. But her mom, like, they both acting like that. I'm trying not to spoil it, but...
School superintendent and principal were there, and the parents explained that this harassment had been going on for over a year. Both Jill and Kendra, the mothers, they were extremely concerned about their children, their mental health status, how it was affecting their school academics. They were pleading for help. The worst fear ever is that both of the kids have emotional trauma with this, and when that gets to the point where they can't sustain that emotional trauma anymore, their potential for risk of self-harm is huge. It's actually extremely concerning. I knew I was looking for a group of students who had a very close bond. Like, they're sworn to secrecy, they're not gonna tell anybody about what's going on. So early on, I thought that's probably what it was.
Once or twice a week, Sheriff Mann would come to the school and just ask questions like, when was your last message? What was it about?
How are things transpiring? Any different? Anything less, more, same?
Not as many messages.
Okay. Like I said, don't let it get you down. It's just garbage. Somebody needs some serious help. So, we'll go from there. Shot is good.
During basketball season, I started getting messages related to our games. I remember there was one basketball game where I didn't have like any points or something, so they were hating on me in the messages.
You're the worst. You should quit. Get hurt and be done.
The sad part is that, Lauren is a really good athlete. And she just, kind of gave up.
Maybe somebody watching the game could have been sending it.
There were details in some of the texts that made it seem as though that somebody was stalking them.
Bitch, Mom.
We know you're big. I called Kendra and said, you know the girls on the basketball team. I don't know them very well. You know, does this look like any of them? I mean, you've coached them. Who competes with Lauren?
This is where I started to really kind of think, okay, is somebody on the high school team jealous or envious?
I got this one text where the senator talked about how many points.
Okay, I got it. Oh, crap. I want to look up, like, who's who, because it doesn't show, like, Lauren's, like, dad, Lauren's whatever, or it doesn't show the people and, like, who they're related to, and now I'm confused. We're gonna look it up. Of course, my freaking computer is going to take forever because I'm trying to upload. Okay, well now I can't look at it. Now I'm just going to have to...
They scored in the game the night before. So me and my mom thought maybe we could
I'm
figure out
cold.
who scored that many points. My mom was a volunteer scorekeeper.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
she thought we could look at the score chart.
Finally.
And when we looked, only one person had that amount of points. Chloe Wilson.
It's like, whoa, like, hold on. You can't be Chloe.
Chloe and Owen kind of like, they weren't, I don't know how to like explain their relationship. They were a little bit like more than friends. They kind of always like liked each other. Chloe really had a crush on Owen. I think she would always just go and talk to him just to make me jealous. Owen and Chloe became like really good friends, but then he started dating Lauren.
So yeah, Lauren and Chloe never got along. Chloe wasn't the nicest person growing up, and she wasn't a bully, but she wasn't a nice person by any means. And I think that she said some things to Lauren that just made Lauren not like her.
I didn't like Chloe because I feel like we just had two completely different vibes. We played basketball together, and we just didn't match each other.
We were told by the school that when we took the name, like, could you see this being Chloe? At that point, it was like, well, we've had some issues in the past.
7th through 8th grade, there was just multiple allegations against Chloe where she was bullying or she wasn't being nice to this person. The principal called Chloe in constantly, and she's like, I'm not doing anything.
Tattoos on her body, and she light skin.
She was a leader. At the time, she had a huge friend group that spanned, to several other schools, and, so I think that to some people, I'm not gonna say they were offended by that, but maybe they wanted that sort of thing for themselves.
Finish yourself, or we will.
And started to look at a young lady by the name of Chloe Wilson. She had scored the 12 points in the basketball game. I learned that there was a lot of messaging going on, talking about a Halloween party, and it was interesting because I discovered that that party, it was actually put on by Chloe and her family. Maybe Chloe was interested in Owen, and that was one.
Someone said put a mirror behind me.
Jealous of Lauren.
I know that was not a threat now. I'm so stupid. Whoever said put a mirror behind you, now I get it, like a mirror behind me so you could see. I'm just stupid. I keep thinking I see it. Unfortunately, I cannot put a mirror behind me because I don't have a standalone mirror. And I don't have a handheld mirror, which sucks. If I was on TikTok, I would be able to like do both ways. But yeah. I'm trying not to pause it too much because I have to, at 4 o'clock, I need to really get to cleaning and putting stuff up.
I didn't know about all of the stuff. So I was happy until like probably on volleyball season. I would just share like little things here and there from Owen. I didn't really talk to them that much at all. Really, like I'm not close with Lauren. And then it started getting blamed on me.
There's 348 pages. They're nasty. I mean, they're past like harassment. These are This is stalking. I just want you to stop. Like, it's gotta stop.
Well, I don't have anything to do with it. I work with people all the time, and if something were happening like that, someone would see it.
I thought Chloe's gonna get away with this because her dad is, you know, a police officer. He needs to do certain things to like get rid of things, and there's all kinds of like thoughts going on with that.
I did some research and asked some questions at school, and they said Sophie and Macy are really good friends with Chloe. They're a pretty close group, so I thought, well, there we are. There's my close group. There's the three that know about what's going on here. I'll talk to one of these two young girls. I will get to the bottom of this pretty quickly.
Me and Sophie have always been close. Our parents were super close friends. And so our whole childhood basically was spending time with each other.
I might have been like taking Owen away from Sophie a little bit, so she might have wanted to get back at me.
Hi, Sophie.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm talking to lots of people today. Any idea why?
I kind of have an idea because I was close to Owen.
Okay. Are you friends with Chloe?
Yeah, she's one of my close friends.
Do you think Chloe would do it?
Because her dad's the police, so she wouldn't be dumb enough to do something like that.
Thank you.
I got a phone call from Mike Main stating that he had pulled Sophie into an interview, and they had actually interviewed an entire group of kids.
I remember reaching out to Kren, who's my best friend, saying like, can you please talk to your daughter about this? This is getting out of control.
So I had taken Sophie's phone and gone through it.
She was looking if there's messages from Chloe to Sophie, or if Sophie has these burner apps on her phone.
There had been arguments and, yelling. I think you know what's going on. You have to know.
Chloe, Macy, Sophie, and we're always in a certain area, just all huddled up together on their phones.
We will make every day fucking miserable for you.
At that point, the parents started to get more and more upset with the school because we weren't doing more.
I reached out to the basketball coach, who was fed up at this point because the girls on the team are fighting, and I said, is there any way that we can talk to your basketball team and just show them, like, this is what's happening? Can you go through your kids' phones?
There's no way that roast is done.
He was like, yes, absolutely. I think this is a great idea. Just run it through the school. Then we were informed by Mr. Chillman that was not going to happen.
The parents wanted to come into classrooms, and they wanted to get involved in the investigation themselves. Have these group meetings and confront people. And
I would
start
want to
pointing
too.
fingers. We told the parents. I told them point blank, that isn't going to go how you think it's going to go.
You got Jill and Kendra going into school just bitching at Dan, and luckily the superintendent is like, you're crazy. They made quite a scene in the school. There was a point to where Owen was trying to get Chloe to confess to this. He was giving her the what for constantly, like a daily thing. Owen later texted Chloe or called her the next day and said, that was my mom, I'm sorry about that. Jill was sending texts that was not her, pretending to be Owen.
All the evidence kept pointing to Chloe.
Me and Macy did confront her, and she got upset, and she was like, I'm not doing it. I don't know why no one will believe me.
Oh, okay. We're finally hearing from Chloe.
Owen said something to me first. Are you doing this? And I was just like, no. After a while, I kept getting asked more and more because after I got
I've been
asked once,
accused
it really
of
just all
sending
started to
messages to
look
people,
more
and I'm
and
like,
more
it wasn't me. So I know how Chloe feels because I used to have an ex,
Owen and Lauren received
and somebody was
codes from an
messaging
area
his
in
new
Florida,
girlfriend,
and were told
now wife,
Chloe and her family had taken a
and they
spring
thought it
break
was
trip
me, and I was like,
to the
no,
Florida area
I have
during
better
that period
things to
of
do.
time. So when those messages come in with those area codes, you start to think, okay, this is potentially pointing right back to her as a person of interest.
I don't think we were across the border for not even an hour, and Mike's texting us that it's coming from Florida now.
And I was just like, it's not me. I don't know what you want me to do. And my dad was like, you should just get your phone dubbed.
Chloe and her family provided Chloe's phone for a forensic download, but there was just nothing on her phone.
Bitches, I talked police yesterday. They fucking kept my phone, fucking searched it, copied it. Found nothing bad.
Chloe was searched by the police, her phone was dumped, and we kept on getting messages saying that she got her phone dumped. It was weird because if Chloe was the one texting, why would she reference herself? I would get texts of pictures of me and Chloe. It just got so weird, like she was referencing herself too much. Why would Chloe send a picture of herself if she didn't want to get caught?
Nobody would actually directly point to themselves. It almost had to be somebody setting her up.
First off, why is Chloe having some ratchet ass TikToks? She don't even look like they're like all 12 or 13.
As an investigator,
doing thirst
we
traps.
have to be very careful that we don't get that tunnel vision. We were probably over 1,000 pages of full messages, so I read every one of them, looking for that hidden clue. A few weeks prior, there was a text message conversation about a sweatshirt and a phone case. And a picture had been taken, and that picture was sent to Owen and Lauren from this perpetrator.
Though we digging his new black phone case for real.
It was very alarming because the only people that would have been able to even take that picture at our family Christmas were obviously people that were there with us, which would just have been our families. Sheriff Maine asked us who would have been potentially at the Christmas that also would have been in Owen's class. The only family member that is in Owen's class is his cousin, Adriana.
I think Adriana could have been a part of this. She was in a group of girls that just kind of kept to themselves. We grew up playing sports together with these girls, and maybe they thought I was just being rude to them, or I just didn't like them for some reason, just because I can be a little competitive in sports and stuff like that. So maybe they just didn't like me because of that, I thought.
When we were in middle school, Adriana made up this rumor that we bullied her and that we threw carrots at her.
Chloe thinks somebody's setting her up. Your cousin is Adriana, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe there was some history with Chloe or something from forever ago, but she was just trying to figure out who could be doing it.
There's no one else that would dislike us that much to make it sound like we're bullying someone else.
There was a couple of times I did not want to go to school. It was a very stressful time for me. I was on the volleyball team with Chloe, Macy, and Sophie. They had their group, and if you weren't part of that group, you were considered what I call the outsiders. And if you were an outsider, they weren't nice to you.
It was last volleyball season that we dealt with Adriana and her mom. They started this huge thing in volleyball. And there was another time that we got called in the lawyer's office, and they got caught lying.
And it wasn't until a couple of parents stood up that go to the games that see all this say, this is ridiculous.
True.
It makes you feel like the entire world is going against you. It feels like there's no way out. There was no good days I had at that point. I didn't tell anybody. My mom had noticed it, and she spoke up. She made a Facebook post. It wasn't calling anybody out or anything. She was just saying, this is what my kid is going through. We need to get this fixed type thing. And after that, I wouldn't say it spiraled, but it didn't get any better.
Parents were involved in it, making all these, Facebook posts. Her mom was on a I'm a victim, journey.
My fingers are pointing towards Adriana. That's who I think it is.
People thought it was me who was trying to frame Chloe because of the way she had been treating me. When I first heard about the messages, Owen had texted me and asked if I was getting these text messages. And I remember I told him, just send me the numbers, I'll check and see if I have them in my contacts, and I did not. But that was really the last I heard about it until after I got questioned by the cops.
The next step in the investigation was obviously to speak with Adriana. I asked her if she was involved or if she had any information on this.
He was drilling me with questions. It was very intense. He had asked me if I had anything against Lauren. And of course I was like, no, I don't have anything against Lauren.
Ask about the picture that had been taken at a Christmas party.
He'd asked me if I knew who took the picture or if I took the picture. I didn't know how people thought I could do that. But it was also very hurtful. Because, like, I was this quiet kid at school. Like, I didn't really talk to anybody. I wronged nobody. I was just kind of confused as to why they thought I would do that. Walking into class after being questioned by Sheriff Maine, everybody was looking at me like they knew what happened. They were looking at me like I was guilty. My opinion towards police officers has changed since then. Now every time I pass a cop on the road, like, I am scared. Like, I'm scared of cops now.
It was very traumatic for her to think, I mean, you got called into the office to talk to a cop about a situation that she really didn't know a lot about. And I mean, absolutely, there was no way that she was a part of this.
After I had talked to Sheriff Maine, there was one day I was sitting in the living room with my parents. And I got a message from an unknown number.
Hey, Adriana, we need your help. We need to get Lil gone away from him. Tell his parents, Lil a bitch. Fucked up his life. You hate her too.
I was terrified. As soon as I got the message, I dropped my phone, I cried. Like, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I was terrified. I was really worried about, like, who is this person? Why do they have my phone number? It was scary because I didn't think that it would ever happen to me.
In the spring of 2022, we were not living our normal lives. Every night was practically sleepless.
You know what we want. We want to take Lo down. She is a fucking waste.
The messages would just go nonstop. I mean, 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning. It was relentless.
Like, you wake up and you see this and you're like, oh, okay, good morning to you too.
Kind of turned into like an argument at home about these messages and the tension in the house. You know, you could just, feel the vibe in the house. Like, no one could get along right now.
I'm like, at this point, just get rid of your phones.
Started to yell at Kendra because you're not doing nothing. You told me you can handle this. And she's like, oh, I'll keep taking care of it.
I wasn't spending enough time at home. Yes, Lauren was a priority and I spent tons of time with her, but unfortunately, Sean wasn't made a priority.
Kendra and I were always arguing and fighting, and then we all of a sudden we had to start moving from place to place, went to 4 houses through all this mess.
It just, led to financial struggle, worse financial struggles than we were already in.
Lauren can't sleep. We're forcing her to go to school. She's crying in the morning. She doesn't want to go to school.
No one ever wants your anorexic flat ass and tits. No dude ever touching that pussy. You nasty slut.
Like, reading it now, little me was just trying to stick up for myself.
Oh, well. Oh my God, clearly it's the lack of sleep, Sean. So there is nothing that we can do. This is like.
Have we taken the phone away and changed the numbers?
Well,
Okay.
I have it. It's already going off all morning. It was horrible yesterday. I don't know how to handle Owen with it, and I mean, there's like no way to just track this when they send the messages in. I mean, they're doing it. They're like taunting me right now about the police. And, like, it's. I just can't.
Did you get Owen a new phone?
No, he just doesn't have one at the moment. Like a week or so ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they would not leave him alone. So he sent them this message that said, I hope you people know that you make me feel suicidal. He didn't actually spell it out correctly, but that's what he responded. Which totally put me over the edge.
Jill had said to Mike that she was going to go to the papers if they couldn't figure something out.
Mike Main had talked to all of these people, Chloe, Sophie, Macy, Adriana, and still was no closer to finding out who was behind this. Again, he said, I think you're just gonna have to get Owen another phone, and I said, that's not good enough. Someone needs to be held accountable for what they've done.
I had tapped out the resources that I felt that I had available to me. So I provided my reports, my case to the FBI and asked for assistance in their cyber crimes unit.
In April of 22, Sheriff Mike Main requested some assistance in a case he was investigating. He gave me a thumb drive that contained 720 pages of messages.
Brad was appalled at the messages and the lack of help.
I've seen cases like this where the victim can't handle anymore, they commit suicide, unfortunately. The first thing I wanted to do was a full phone extraction of Owen's phone to see if maybe somewhere in his phone I could gather some clues as to who may be sending these messages. I did perform a full extraction, so basically messages, pictures, emails, geolocations is presented to me in separate files, but I was not able to find anything that was linking any of his friends that may be sending these messages, so I didn't really gather anything new after doing a phone extraction.
I started dating a girl from Pinconning. We talked a lot, we were close, like, it was a serious thing. I slowly started to feel happy again, like, maybe everything will be okay.
Owen had been over in the Pinconning, Michigan area, which is a couple hours away from our location, for a sporting event, and had met a girl and started communicating with this girl.
One day, she texted me, she's like, my mom just got a random text from someone.
God.
Here we go again, it's the same format, same words. Telling the girl from Pinconning to back off me because I'm theirs.
Owen, need your help making this bitch jealous and miserable.
The texter really went out their way to find her mom's phone number that lives in Pinconning. I just felt like I couldn't do anything anymore. I had no freedom. I felt like I couldn't date anyone. I mean, because I was putting them in danger, and I don't want to put them through the same thing Lauren went through. It would eat me alive. Like, each and every day, I'd feel like I'd lose trust in everyone.
That was terrifying, knowing that somebody was watching him that closely and also had the ability to find phone numbers of people that I didn't even know, or was somebody who was truly watching, like, every movement of his.
So, me and the girl from Pinconning ended up breaking up because of this.
Now you're wondering how would those messages that we've seen by the hundreds and hundreds of started to go to this family.
He was very fidgety and angry. The anger really started to become apparent to us. A lot of aggression on the basketball court was something that we noticed. It was very obvious the days that were harder on him, especially with the content of the messages. It was almost like he was trying to take it out in a physical way without physically hurting anyone.
Bruh, Owen, you a fucking scared little pussy.
The next thing I do is I take a look at the phone number that was sending these messages and try to determine what company owned this phone number. I did some research and found out that at least one of them came from Pinger, some application that people use to disguise their phone number. I submitted a search warrant to Pinger, and they gave me 2 IP addresses that belong to a Verizon network. So at this point, I submitted a search warrant to Verizon for information on these 2 IP addresses. Tuesday, May 23rd, Verizon did send me the search warrant results back, and they gave me a several-page document with what phone numbers were attached to these 2 IP addresses.
He called me one day and told me that they got the list of phone numbers from the IP address and wanted me to give him any phone number from any possible suspect. So I talked to Owen and had him send me basically any of his friends, any phone numbers that he had.
I could not find any of those phone numbers connected to this IP address.
What about adults? What about, you know, whoever? So we just dumped contacts.
And then I found one phone number that kept coming up being connected to that IP address at the time these messages were sent. And the phone number was Lauren's mom, Kendra.
God. God. And she's in the documentary. Acting like she didn't do shit.
I really didn't know what to say.
Brad got back a hold of me and said, the only phone number on all these pages out of everybody who sent me that matches is Kendra's phone number.
Just
And I
imagine.
said,
God.
it's not her. He's like, do you think there's a possibility it could be her? And I said, no.
Duh.
She's helping me. She's Lauren's mom. I said,
Well, duh.
It's not her.
I ended up meeting with Sheriff Maine. I presented to him who I felt was involved in the case. I gave him a thumb drive with all the search warrant results, all my search warrants, my whole report.
I remember thinking in my head, this doesn't make sense. A reasonable person would say, there is no absolute way that Kendra Licari is sending these messages to her daughter, but
People are just so nice and naive.
And then I started realizing that Kendra has tried to interject herself into my investigation a few times under the guise of, can you tell me where you're at with everything? Can you update me on the case?
Duh. Although it is her daughter, so you would think
Called
she was
me
just a
and said
mom.
he has some concerns that it might be one of the parents. And I'm like, no way. Kendra helped coach and was at the school involved. Even when Lauren was in elementary school, I can remember Kendra helping with the book fair and other events that we had at the school. I mean, she was a supportive, caring parent.
She was bored.
When the sheriff came to me and said, hey, we've identified the mom as a potential suspect, I said, you gotta be shitting me. No one in their right mind would have thought that a mother would do this to a child. When we get involved, our role is typically to review a search warrant. The sheriff approached me and said that we may need a search warrant for the electronics belonging to Miss Licari. You start to look at it and you say, she's involved as a coach at the school. She's got an IT background. You know, she's always around when the kids are receiving these text messages.
So one of my detectives
Spoiler
and I
alert, they already said who did it.
head to Kendra Licari's home. There was very limited evidence, so it was a tightrope to walk.
It wasn't exactly a straightforward case. We were able to identify an IP address that belonged to Kendra Licari, but we weren't necessarily able to say who was behind that device.
We had to make sure that we had enough information to get a conviction in this case. I need a recorded confession. We want as much evidence as possible.
This is making me sick to my stomach as a mom. Especially making your family move 4 times.
Hey, Kendra. We gotta have a conversation. I have a search warrant for your devices and your phones.
Okay.
Alright, so I want to go in and sit down and talk. Anybody else here?
Lauren is.
Alright.
Wait, what Catholic channels?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm on unknown number. I'm watching unknown number.
There's a search warrant.
It's getting juicy.
Other devices you use? You have a laptop?
But spoiler alert if y'all don't want it. You know.
So this is the deal. When we're doing the investigation and the FBI got involved, we come up with some stuff that comes back to you.
What do you mean?
The messages originating from you.
No.
Every message that went to the kids, your number come back through Fingry or whatever it is, the app that's trying to hide it. Your number
even though it was being hidden, showed up every single message.
My number?
Yep. Does it have to do with Owen? Is there an infatuation there with Owen?
No, nothing like that.
There's
Okay,
something
then
messed
did
up in the
something-
mom's head.
You know, did he treat Lauren bad? I mean, something serious went on for a while, right?
Yeah, and it didn't start that way.
And I'm sure it didn't.
I don't even know.
That's okay. Just start from the beginning. So they were dating, and then they broke up. So how did it really start? Like, why did it start after? Did it start during when they were still dating?
It did.
So he treated her bad?
But it didn't. The first ones didn't start like with me.
Okay.
I will say that. Those ones were like random or whatever.
So somebody else started those, you don't know?
But then I like fed off of it some.
Her confession isn't an over-the-top admission. She more or less is tacitly admitting that she did it by not denying it, but it...
What? We gotta go back now. She admitted it? I thought she was...
That's okay. Just start from the beginning.
We gotta rewind this.
When we were doing the investigation and the FBI got involved, we come up with some stuff that comes back to you.
What do you mean?
The messages originating from you.
No.
Every message that went to the kids, your number come back through Fingry or whatever it is, the app that's trying to hide it. Your number, even though it was being hidden, showed up every single message.
My number?
Yep. Does it have to do with Owen? Is there an infatuation there with Owen?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, then just tell me what did he treat Lauren bad? I mean, something serious went on for a while, right?
Yeah, and it didn't start that way.
And I'm sure it didn't.
So she didn't admit it, but she's...
Okay, just start from the beginning.
She didn't even... What?
And then they broke up. So how did it really start? Like, why did it start after? Did it start during when they were still dating?
It did.
So they treated her bad?
But she didn't confess.
The first ones didn't start like with me.
Okay.
I will say that. Those ones were like random or whatever.
So somebody else started those, you don't know?
But then I like fed off of it some.
Her confession isn't an over-the-top admission. She more or less is tacitly admit.
Yeah, they started during when they were still dating.
It did.
So they treated her bad?
But it did. The first ones didn't start.
So there was more than one person.
I will say that. Those ones were like random or whatever.
So somebody else started those, you don't know?
But then I like fed off of it some.
Her confession isn't...
I don't know what she said at the ending.
She more or less is tacitly admitting that she did it by not denying it, but it wasn't a, clear admission of guilt.
Does Lauren know anything about it? All right.
I really don't want her to.
Not sure that's going to be something we can solve, right? Because I have to let Jill know and those guys. There's others that are going to want to know because their daughter,
You're going to get arrested.
All this throughout, and it's a bad deal. I get it.
Once this is out there, I don't know how she can go to school.
I know.
She can go to school just fine. It's just your butt's going to go.
You want me to go out and talk to Lauren?
Can we just bring her in?
Yeah. Lauren, can you come in? How are you doing today? Good. I'm not coming back out. We're going to chat for a few minutes, okay?
At least let her... Is she in a bathing suit?
All right, Miss Lauren, so I'm just going to start the conversation. You guys have been under a lot of stress lately, some moves going on, some financial issues, and everything else going on. Mom got wrapped up into some stuff, and she didn't start it, but continued it. So we found some evidence, and we kind of searched one of her phone. Sometimes when we're
Nah.
Thinking straight, we do some things that aren't right. You know, your mom doesn't want this to get out, but it is some public information, so it's not going to not get out.
No.
I just wanna be honest about it, right?
No.
She said you had no idea what was going on, and I believe that. What has to happen now is I have to make sure you and your mom are safe before I leave. So I'd like you to call your dad, so maybe he can come home and meet with us, okay?
No. And she tries to comfort. Nope.
Hey, Sean? Yeah? Hi, this is Sheriff Mike Mann.
You can tell her daughter's trying to hold it together.
Hey, do you have a minute?
I'd have been like, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Yeah. I get this crazy phone call while I'm at work, and it's the sheriff saying that they figured it out. I'm like, sweet, finally this is gonna be over with. He's like, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you this. I'm like, what? I wanna know who it is. He's like, unfortunately, it's your wife.
Divorce.
And I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know what to say to him, you know, because I'm in shock, you know. I'm just, you know, she's the one doing this for the year and a half, the text messaging. And he's like, are you still there? And I'm like, are you for real? I said, this is my fucking wife doing this? Well, I come flying home. The sheriff is standing on the front porch.
So this is the deal. Every time the kids received a message, her number came back. So that was enough for a search warrant, and that's why we're here today. So we took her phone and her computer. As my detective was checking that, I started talking to her. I said, if it's over with, it's done.
Yeah, ask me what phone did you take?
She had it in her pocket. I can show you. So, okay. Well, I have a search warrant for all of them, so I'd like to get all of them. Well, so this is the deal. Felony stalking. That's what the charge is. But I knew there was a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she was like from Paris, you know, and she had IT background.
It's like she's doing all the text messaging. She lost, you know, both of her jobs, and she hasn't had a job in over a year. She hasn't had a job for over a year. You just said she got let go.
That's
how much she quit.
I was told by somebody I know over there that she was let go. She was no longer employed. So I think there's more to that story too.
Sean
heck?
looked like a broken person. He was trying to process what I had just told him and understand
this crazy.
whole ordeal and how this could be. There was a lot more to unpack than just what was going on with Lauren.
So you want to go in and ask her about this other phone, so I appreciate that. And those devices need to be away from her.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. Hey, Kendra, so I want to be real clear here. Like, do you have any other devices? Because apparently there's another phone somewhere. So where's that at?
There's something messed up with the mom's head.
You've already confessed, but you've got to tell me where it's at. Okay, and that search warrant right there gives us the authority to flip it upside down. I have no will to destroy this house, but I will. Outside where? That house where you try to walk away from us? Okay.
I'll go grab the other copy, because I unlocked it.
So what happened?
If I was the daughter, I'd have been like, can I go?
It's time to get it off your shoulders.
I will ask if we leave outside what jail. So tell me out. Yeah, what about the Texas shop? You still have that, or you got terminated?
Why are you worried about the jobs?
You don't have that.
Your wife? God, this is so annoying.
Hey, you fucking telling me the truth, or you lying?
Obviously.
When did you give up? Go from there.
Big time.
So you've been lying to me for like 6 months, a year, you have never for Texas?
Lord, he is more worried about his wife than his wife texting his kids that shit. This is annoying.
Okay, you need to go somewhere tonight. I don't know where you gotta go, but...
Go to jail! Go to jail! Oh, this is so annoying. Everybody in this thing is so annoying. Like, everybody's just too nice. Truth is, you're going to jail.
Okay, you need to call your parents. Where's my phone?
Stop touching her. Beat your butt just doing that to your daughter.
No. Well, he's here. No. You need to go there. You gotta go. Okay. You know, I can't do this. I'm really sorry.
I can't leave her.
No, you got her.
Really? This mom is so full of shiz. Hi. I'm just okay. Hold on. First, okay. I am watching Unknown Number. They already figured it out. I am like down to the last 33 minutes. So if you haven't watched it, come back after you watch it. But this is getting crazy. Everybody in this whole entire series is either like too nice and naive, or like, I understand you can't just break up a family, or some families is just, they're not just gonna break up because of like one incident of whatever. There's probably more to the story and stuff, but I am getting so mad. Like the boy breaking up with the girl because of all this. And I'm like, okay, he never really liked her if he broke up with her just for like, because he thought it would stop. It's not going to stop. A stalker is never going to stop if they get reactions. Like, they're just not. And then the fact that, okay, then the fact that now we know that it's the mom, and now the mom's trying to coddle her is stupid. It's so stupid. If I was a daughter, like, I know the daughter's just being nice and stuff, but I was a daughter, I'd be like, back the F up, mom. Like, you done effed up. You ain't doing this shiz to me anymore. I would be so mad if I was a daughter. Although, you know, as a kid, you're not gonna like mistreat your parents, especially in front of a cop. But if I was a daughter, I'd been like, nope, get off me. Nope, nope, goop, goop. You ruined my life. Goop. You're not my mom anymore. Goop. Oh, people are too nice.
All right. They're in water first.
I don't care if you're family. I'd drop you if you do that crap.
Your dad know I'm on their way. So I told him I talked to him face to face and
Yeah, you need to stay with her.
No, you don't.
we gotta get some time apart.
I think that's probably
I
it.
do something stupid or you do something stupid, we're both in trouble right now. She's gonna go away. Okay? We gotta work through this. It's gotta be separated for a little while.
She's got to go to jail.
Miss Lauren, I'm so sorry that I had to knock on your door today, and I hope you guys find a path, all right?
Okay.
All right.
She better go to jail. No, oh, now you're crying.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
You guys are gonna think I'm the crazy lady.
Well, you are.
It was a very high emotional day in our house.
Nada.
A day of confusion, unknown answers, shock, a day of not even knowing how we move forward to the next day. So it was a hard day, but at the same time, it was an end.
I think the shock feeling turned into sad, which turned into mad, which turned into crazy. I don't even know how to describe the feeling. Why would mom do this? But like, did she really actually do this? Like, I can't believe it, honestly. I was just really confused.
I just can't believe she'd do something like that to her daughter. I suppose that she loved dearly. You know, a 14, 15-year-old daughter. Just makes me sick. You know, she stabbed me in the heart, shot me in the heart, threw it away.
So you took her to jail.
Called me and just said, it's over. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. It's over. And he said, I went to Kendra's house and she confessed to everything. And it was like, I can't ever get that feeling.
And everybody sued and lived happily ever after.
Like betrayal. This woman we allowed into our lives and our house and my kids' lives, and I just
sued her.
You just can't.
The next thing out of everybody's face is we sued her.
I was just speechless. Just like I didn't know how to handle it. Just like my head was spinning. Like, how could a mom do such a thing? It's just like crazy that someone that close could do something like that. Well, to me, but also to her own daughter.
Every single one of us makes mistakes. Not a single one of us has lived a perfect life. And realistically, a lot of us have probably broke the law at some point or another and not got caught. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm sure that people...
The mom is messed up in the head.
Been caught, right? But again, if you get caught, you're in the same situation I'm in, but for a different thing. So I do feel that, people lose sight of that. I know to some, I'm a headline, I'm a villain, I'm a bad mom, I'm a whatever. But that's because they know one little piece of my story. They don't know my whole story.
What is it?
Kendra's mom and my mom are sisters. They were the only two kids, so we were pretty close growing up because it was just the two of them. She was fun, outgoing, like the life of the party. We've been on tons of cruises, probably 6 or 7 cruises, some girls' cruises, some family cruises. She does like attention, I think. If she was here right now and you were talking to me, she would be dancing over there to try and get you to look at her. But as far as like being there for people and being a good person, yes. I mean, she was. She would help you. She would, I could have, before all this, I probably could have called her anytime and said, I need you to do this, and she would be there. She was the baseball coach for Lauren. She was basketball coach for Lauren. So she always seemed to be very involved.
Kendra being a mom, I thought she was great at what she's done, with Lauren and made sure she
I'm
was
so
there
mad.
on time and,
I just
being a mom, life was perfect and everything was great, and then, things started happening.
So the first text message started around Halloween.
And did you send those text messages?
No, those ones I did not.
okay. But still,
It wasn't until
I just want to know who the other person is now.
on. So the messages kind of stopped for a little bit and then they picked back up. In my mind, I'm like, how long do we let this go on? What do I do as a parent? Honestly, the best way would have been to stop it by shutting her cell phone down, right? But then I was like, well, why should she have to do that? Why should I have to get her a new cell phone? Like, because of someone else's actions, right? I really wanted to get to the bottom of who it was, right? And that's when I started sending the text messages to Lauren and Owen. I was sending the messages in hopes that maybe they would send back asking, is this somebody or is this so-and-so, to just kind of give me something, right? And then also hoping that as they maybe talked about the messages amongst like their friend groups and stuff, that something might come up that could help pinpoint, where they were originating from. I started in the thoughts of, we need some.
Okay. Either the mom is just making up some elaborate story, or like she just did it all and she's just trying to like whatever. But if she was doing it to like try and get the real person who sent the first messages, like I can understand that. But if not, she better go to jail.
Answers. And then I just kept going. It was a spiral. Kind of a snowball effect. I don't think I knew how to stop. I was somebody different in those moments. I was in an awful place mentally. It was like I had a mask on or something. I don't even know who I was.
She just kind of changed. She was more introverted, didn't reach out as much. I guess more self-absorbed too, maybe.
Sometimes it was an hour a day or 8 hours a day. I let it consume me.
That's gross.
With her saying that she didn't send the first couple back.
Law enforcement, we see people
It's
try to
getting
deflect.
juicy.
But I did ask who started it. She said she didn't know. To this day, I do not believe that no one else started it.
I don't know how you pull that one over on somebody you're living with. So, to my knowledge, because she never worked at Ferris. No, Kendra didn't. Ferris, no, Kendra didn't.
She acted like she was working and like said she had stuff to do, and she played it off really well.
I think it was more of an escape. It more took me kind of out of real life in a sense, even though it was real life. So when I was really doing that and I wasn't myself, it removed me from my everyday life. Just kept going and going. Laura knows she's petite, she knows she's small, she knows she's thin. So I might have kind of picked up on some of her insecurities. Her appearance, her hair, her looks, her, you know. But honestly, the messages weren't really targeted at her insecurities.
At you? Like, were you sending these messages to yourself?
That very well possibly, because I was way too thin. I was not eating, so you could put me in that anorexic category.
And were you afraid she was going to hurt herself? Because there were messages telling her to kill herself.
So I can say I was not scared of her hurting herself. And I know some people may question that or diminish that or whatever, but I know Lauren and I know the conversations that her and I had, but if I didn't know her as well as I did, it might be different. So, yeah.
One of the texts that I specifically remember, she said something about a blowjob. And how Owen doesn't like Lauren anymore because Lauren doesn't give him blowjobs. That little girl was 14 years old. She shouldn't be doing that. So I think it gave Kendra a false sense of Lauren and I are friends. She needs me. You know, and I mean, you do as a teenager, you do need your mom, but not in that way.
I think it was aside from Munchausen's case. She wanted her daughter to need her in such a way that she was willing to hurt her, and this is the way she chose to do that versus physically trying to make her ill, which is typical Munchausen's behavior.
I think that's exactly it, because Lauren would come home upset about these text messages, and Kendra got to play the hero and be there for her and, you know, do that. So, but as far as Lauren, I I can't even imagine how it made her feel. So I'm sure Lauren is just eaten alive inside. But I don't think that you can escape the grips of Kendra's manipulation when you're still talking to her.
Kendra Licari was very manipulative to her family. She was very controlling. She took care of the finances, and whatever they did was determined and organized by Kendra Licari.
Kendra was telling Sean and Lauren that they were fine financially, so she had to figure out how to come up with all of this money while not going to work. At one time, she had told us that their house got struck by lightning. She made some insurance claims, and I think it's possible that she could have just kept the money.
And one time, we pull in the driveway, and there's this big old piece of paper on the front door saying that you've been evicted. She finally told me that, you know, she wasn't paying the bills. And I'm hustling, getting everything out of there. The phone storage units got it all in there. And like, we can pay this so we don't lose any of our stuff, you know. And she's like, oh yeah, it's no problem, it's only, you know, $2. But she really was not taking care of that stuff. So we ended up losing everything that we owned in our storage units. We had my tools, all important stuff that we got souvenirs from was all in there. Just all the stuff that I worked for all my life is not gone.
I think pretty much everything she's told Sean for the last at least 10 years has been a lie.
Is that true? Is that your perspective?
No. But I handled more of the finances than he did.
You didn't go to work.
But we were both aware of situations we were in. But neither one of us had the answers to the right actions that needed to be taken. So,
I don't like them, Mom.
unfortunately.
After the identity of the perpetrator became publicly known, it shocked our whole community.
We were sitting in class with Macy and Sophie, and we had looked on Instagram, and there was Kendra's mugshot posted everywhere online.
I got a text message at school from my cousin that said, "Are you okay?" And I'm sitting in class, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, why?
Everyone was like kind of looking around at like Lauren and everything, because her mom's everywhere right now online.
And then the next hour, I got pulled into the office. They were like, "Your mom got arrested today." And so then I texted my dad, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Well, she's like, they pulled me in the office and told my mom went to jail.
And now to the bizarre case of a mother accused of cyber-stalking her very own daughter. A high school girl in Michigan was cyberbullied for more than a year.
And who turned out to be the suspect shocked everyone. Prosecutors accusing a mother of catfishing.
It's technically not
It
catfishing.
wasn't a kid. We weren't expecting that it would be a parent.
This mother is facing criminal charges.
Licari is charged with 5 crimes, mainly for stalking, as the messages went on for more than a year.
We had tens of thousands of text messages.
Kendra Licari was in Isabella County courtroom Thursday. The judge made it a point to ban Licari from having contact with the victims. That includes Licari's daughter.
One of the challenges on this case was the level of closeness between Kendra and her daughter. And we were hoping that creating that separation would provide an opportunity for her to get outside of that umbrella of control that she'd had on her throughout the entirety of this process.
Licari and her attorney asked to have the no contact order lifted. The court even received letters from her daughter saying she wanted to be back with her mother.
Well,
Now I have
duh.
a relationship with my mom. I just don't feel like myself. I feel like I really need her in my life.
You think
Because-
they judge you for missing your
For the kids' safety, she should be not around her mom. Because is it Munchausen's also, what do you call it when you get so abused that you stay in the situation? I forgot what it's called, but there's like something that, is it Munchausen's? No, Munchausen's, okay, hold up. What's the thing when you've been captive with somebody for so long that you develop feelings for that person. That's what the daughter has. Like, yes, that's your mom. Your mom hangs the moon. Mom can do no wrong and stuff. But I'm like, for the girl's safety, she needs to be away from her mom.
I think some people might have their own opinions on it, but honestly, I don't really care.
That's your mom.
Ultimately, Kendra pled to 2 counts of stalking a minor, 1 count for Owen and 1 count for Lauren.
I went to Kendra's sentencing for court, and my whole family was there.
And the sad part is somebody's probably telling the daughter, like, that's your mom. You can't just drop her. Yes, you can. If your mom is willing to do that, something's wrong.
There's a bunch of people there. The room was filled. And I saw Kendra, and it was just very shocking to see her after everything had happened, because it was just really weird seeing your coach from 7th grade like that.
Kendra got to speak first the day of court, and she is very convincing.
I am sorry, Your Honor. I am sorry for my behavior to Owen McKinney and his family. I'm sorry for my behavior to Chloe Wilson and her family. I am sorry to my daughter, Lauren. I am aware that I have a mental illness, and I was unaware that I was in crisis for many years. I have learned to acknowledge and cope with my childhood trauma.
There were a lot of excuses as to what she did, things that had happened to her in her life. And I'm not saying that those things didn't happen, but to use those as an excuse as to why you hurt children.
Children and everybody freaking around them.
Right or fair.
She's a pedophile too, sending all that shiz to kids.
I knew Owen and Jill were both going to be talking there, and I honestly didn't want to hear what they were going to say because I knew it wasn't going to be anything good.
At the end of the day, this will be over. We can try to go back to normal lives. You can try, but it's starving me. This whole thing. It's one impact the rest of my life.
I didn't get to speak with Kendra from the time she confessed until that day in court. It was the only thing we were going to get to do because we didn't get to go to trial and speak. So it was our one chance.
I will never forget the sick feeling that overcame me the day we found out. The hurt, anger, betrayal, sadness all hit me at once.
I know.
I have waited
It's so
years for
crazy.
this moment.
It's
The
so
day
crazy.
that you could look me in the eye and tell me why. Was it worth it? Was all of this worth it?
When you look at the trauma that this caused, there's no doubt that it'll have a lasting impact on all of these families. And the impact that this is going to have on these kids may be lifelong.
Well, this is truly a horrible case. So I think, based on your conduct, you deserve, you've earned a prison sentence.
Kendra Licari, the catfish mom, is going to prison for at least 1.5 years.
In this case, the judge sentenced on what I would consider to be the high end of the guideline range, 19 months.
It felt good to just address her and ask why. I know I'll never get the reason that a true reason. I think she became obsessed with Owen, which is hard, being a mom and that she's a grown woman, but I think that there was some level of relationship that she wanted to have with Owen that obviously is not acceptable at her age.
It felt like she was attracted to me. She was super friendly and super like, here, I'll go get you this, I'll go do this for you. It wasn't like it was like my girlfriend's mom. It felt like it was something more. She would do things for me. She would cut my own steak for me. Like it was just to the point where it was almost too weird.
If you look at how she treated him and how she glorified him, and she would go out of her way to do anything and everything for him or just to be noticed by him, she would randomly just text him and try to keep a connection with him. She came to all of his sporting events, even after Lauren and him broke up. This is disgusting.
There's something wrong with the mom.
She told me to kill myself. It makes me feel a little bit sad, like, why is my own mom telling me to do that?
This poor girl.
I've, like, talked to her about it, but not necessarily, like, why did you tell me to kill myself? I still question it every day. Like, I still don't know why.
Would I love to know the truth? Absolutely. And what caused it, you know, in her mind? You know, what made her do this?
I know my dad's angry and will probably, like, never forgive her. But I just kind of put that aside and just have the relationship with my mom that I want. I liked communicating with my mom while she was in prison. I could talk to my mom on Mondays and Wednesdays. We were just talking about our days, things that happened, funny stories. And she would send me emails and we were able to email back and forth. She made it seem like everything's better and she just made me feel better.
This mom is crazy. Oh, this mom is crazy.
August 8th, 2024. I hope me and my mom can rebuild our relationship because I feel like I'm definitely missing a part of me, whether it's like the female part of it or just like not having my mom.
When I go back, I am very disappointed in myself for allowing myself to get to where I got. You know, I let my family down. I let myself down, and that's hard. Because that time frame in life is not who I am as a person. It's not who I was, and it's not who I am today. Ever since Lauren was born, her and I have always been close. Family really means a lot to me, so I always knew I wanted to have that family. And when we, you know, got pregnant, you know, I remember us sitting in the doctor's office and hearing that heartbeat for the first time. It gives you chills, you know?
I don't like the mom.
You can't love anymore. And then all of a sudden, this little baby is placed in your arms, and it's a whole new world. It's a whole new feeling. As, you know, she started getting older, I started having things that were suppressed come forward. A lot of it really was previous trauma starting to resurface that I didn't know how to handle. When I was 17, I was raped.
Oh my God, no.
And as my daughter was hitting those teenage years, I got scared. Very scared. I didn't want her to go through that process that I did. And
You traumatized her?
I think that really led to me not know how to handle the things, right? It was hard because I was reliving.
This is one thing I don't like about therapists. Like, I get therapists and stuff is like important and stuff, but there's sometimes in some cases where like a therapist is like, oh, that's why you did it. And it's like, no, they could be like, sometimes I feel like even therapists can be naive at sometimes. I feel like a good therapist is not going to allow somebody to manipulate them. But there's some times where I think a therapist can even get a little bit manipulated by their own.
But also
But I'm pretty like it's almost like they're like, oh, this happened to you, so we're gonna use that as an excuse for why you did this. What the heck are you doing, cat? But that's what makes me so mad.
Wanting to protect her. I wanted to try to like control the outcome of her journey. I was afraid of letting her grow up some, right?
So you traumatized her?
And keep her safe and keep her close. And scared to let her grow up because scared of what could happen to her.
That kitty.
I have not talked to Lauren since a very long time ago.
Me and Owen don't talk
Yeah, whatever
at all
there
now.
was
I see him like in
definitely
the
is not
hallways
him.
and stuff, but we don't really have interactions at all.
Yeah, I was bad at Lauren. I don't think I will talk to her in the future.
Lauren, she was just so young for all this to happen. I really don't think that it's truly her fault that her mom was like that and wanted things to go this way.
Chloe missed a whole goddamn year of what should have been some of the, best memories of her life. A whole year of people pointing the finger at her and not believing what she's saying, being grilled by her parents, and not believed by
Holy crap.
the majority.
There's a whole bunch of
I thought that like I was
stuff
losing
popping
a
on
lot
my
of
phone.
friendships because of it. At first, me and Owen, like, we were all friends, like me, Macy, Owen, and Sophie. We'd sit at a table.
I do feel guilty about Chloe placing blame on her or, her family. We just, at that point, were going off of any little bit of information that we had, which was not a lot throughout 2 years of this. And I feel very, I feel guilty for doing that to her.
Jill, she invited this in. The impact to my family, to our family, is largely because of her and Mike Maine. I remember within a day or two of our initial interview, I had sent him a text message that said that a very good part of me believes that this is probably Kendra doing this. I said, I don't know what you know of her, Mike, but she's not a truthful person.
I told someone else that Sean and Lauren are going to play this off like they were the victim in this shit. They had no clue what was going on, and they're gonna get away with it because Mike Maine didn't do his fucking job and investigate them. And that's exactly what happened.
I'm proud of her for that.
I kept that good. That's good.
Thank God for Brad Peters, because without him, it wouldn't have went anywhere.
Or who knows where it would have ended with Kendra. You watch all these other documentaries of how this ends, it's not good. Who knows what else she would have done if this didn't catch up to her.
Okay.
So you got?
No. Me and my dad have gotten so much closer since this has happened.
You know how much I love you, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Oh, I love you.
I love you.
Okay. I'm proud of you. You're a good kid. Okay. Love you.
We just bond so well together. In everything we do, we can find a way to laugh.
It's fun to watch her smile and giggle and be a kid and do stupid things like we all used to do. Now she's starting to come to Dad a lot more. She's growing, and it's unbelievable. She's just growing up to be a beautiful woman.
I'm not allowed to see my mom now that she's out of prison. I want to see my mom when the time is right. But I think it would just be a relief to see her, but also hard. It's been about 1.5 years since I've seen her.
We both know that we're with each other no matter what.
I don't
I
believe.
think I want to trust her now, but I don't think I can. Now that she's out, I just want her to get the help that she needs. So then when we see each other, it doesn't go back to the old ways and how it was before.
I definitely think that we can have a healthy relationship. I know that we both hold that bond we have close.
Being without that relationship, I think, is really hurting me. And I think rebuilding a relationship will help both of us a lot. However, more than anything,
The mom is full of shit. I don't believe anything that the mom said. The mom has something sick going on. That just makes me so mad. They're all too nice. Okay. Well, that's the end of this. I don't know if y'all will be able to watch this later or not, but that was crazy. Crazy. I have no words. The mom, I felt like, should be in jail longer, but I understand, like, it wasn't that, like, it was felony stalking. So I'm like, normally when you have a stalker, you get, who's Charlie Kirk and why was he murdered? Oh my God, there's so much going on right now. But yeah, anyways, there's just so much in that, like the unknown number, that is making me mad. One, as a mom, I would not know. And then the excuse that the mom uses is stupid. I just feel like the mom was like, oh yeah, that happened when I was 17, so I wanted to make sure my daughter didn't go through that. I think the mom's just crazy. The mom is just crazy. I'm not believing any excuse she gives or anything like that. The daughter, you don't have to trust your mom. You don't have to be best friends with your mom. You can keep your mom at a distance, but I would not go around your mom. I would not go around. If that was my mom, like, there's a lot of things that me and my mom don't agree on. And I have my boundaries with my mom. Not that she did anything to me or anything like that. But, like, when you get older, there should be boundaries with your parents. Healthy boundaries, or, like, healthy detachments. Like, obviously, when you turn 18, you need to go live your life. It's time to cut the cord with your parents and stuff and move on. And this girl's only 14, so she can't really do that. But at least at the age of 14, she realized what her mom's capable of and is able to take that toxicity out of her life at such a young age. Because not that my mom has never done anything to me. It was like, I just went through a lot of mental worse abuse or whatever through my stepdad. And that is when I was like, I couldn't trust my mom because my mom never left a relationship for my sake or anything like that. And it was just a whole messy ordeal. And so that just like made me keep a lot of boundaries for my kids as I grew older. But I wish it was like done at such a young age that I was separated from all that. But I hope that this girl, since the girl, it happened at 14, I just hope that now that she knows at such a young age, like, I hope she puts up a wall and that she doesn't just trust people easily. I know that somebody's going to be like, oh, that's not healthy or whatever, but there's some form. Everybody should have a boundary, a barrier to keep negative people out of your life or to not get manipulated, because I think the most scariest people are the ones closest to you. The ones that are capable of doing the nastiest things to you are always going to be the ones that are closest to you, because a lot of stuff can happen behind closed doors. And I'm just glad that this little girl on the unknown number was able to just get that out of her life at such a young age before it got worse, because there's no telling what that mom would have done if she was able to continue and not get caught, or if people didn't do their jobs and it lasted longer. But I'm glad at such a young age the girl was able to just get it done with, remove that toxicity out of her life, create healthy boundaries before she was like mentally screwed up for the rest of her life. But yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't imagine, because my mom has never done me wrong or anything, but like I couldn't imagine. I would like find another mom if my mom did that to me. That's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, I hope that girl keeps a boundary between her and her mom, because that's nuts. It's nuts. And then I would be like questioning, like, if I date another guy, would this happen? Or would my mom get jealous if I dated another guy? Like, it's so crazy. But anyway, that's it. I gotta go and get dinner finished and everything else. But that was crazy. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.